All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I am Abhishek Mukhopadhyay. With me is Bharath Jyotsna Srivastav. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi chairs meeting to review COVID-19 situation in the country, suggests to ensure administration of COVID vaccine precaution dose for healthcare workers, frontline workers be taken up in mission mode. COVID-19 precaution dose vaccination for healthcare and frontline workers and senior citizens with comorbidities begins today. Centre exempts pregnant women and Divyang employees from attending offices due to rising COVID cases. Himachal Pradesh imposes further restrictions to contain COVID-19 infection in the state. First ever Startup India Innovation Week to be held from today. 2 terrorists killed in an encounter in Kulgam district in Jammu and Kashmir. Russian President Vladimir Putin to take part in an emergency meeting of Council of Collective Security Treaty Organization to discuss Kazakhstan. And in tennis, 20-time Grand Slam champion Rafael Nadal defeats American Maxime Cressy to win men's singles final of Melbourne Somerset ATP 250 event. As the number of COVID-19 cases are rising fast in several parts of the country, we appeal to our listeners to be vigilant and to get fully vaccinated and help others, including children between 15 and 18 years, get vaccinated. As the new Omicron variant of coronavirus is causing concern, please continue to follow these 3 simple steps to stay safe. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011-2397-8046 and 1075. As the nation celebrates the 75th year of independence, a series of events have been organized by the government as a part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. To commemorate the occasion as a Jan Utsav, All India Radio News brings its listeners a special quiz on India's freedom movement and its glorious history. The quiz has been conducted every Monday and Tuesday in the morning news since 16th August and will continue till 15th August 2022. India Post has joined hands as the logistics partner with All India Radio News for the Amrit Mahotsav quiz. And coming to our 43rd question of the Amrit Mahotsav quiz in English, Mahatma Gandhi in his first major public appearance in India said, "Our salvation can only come through the farmer. Neither the lawyers nor the doctors nor the rich landlords are going to secure it." When and where did Gandhi deliver this speech? I repeat, Mahatma Gandhi in his first major public appearance in India said, "Our salvation can only come through the farmer. Neither the lawyers nor the doctors nor the rich landlords are going to secure it." When and where did Gandhi deliver this speech? Listeners can send the responses to the question over WhatsApp on 8826546262. Repeat, 8826546262, or through email on amritmahotsavquiz@prasarbharati.gov.in. I repeat, amritmahotsavquiz@prasarbharati.gov.in. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi chaired a high-level virtual meeting yesterday to review the COVID-19 situation in the country, ongoing preparedness of health infrastructure and logistics status of the vaccination campaign, and emergence of new COVID-19 variant Omicron and its public health implications for the country were also reviewed. The Prime Minister conveyed his gratitude for the relentless services provided by healthcare workers in managing COVID-19 and suggested to ensure that vaccination coverage through precaution dose for healthcare workers, frontline workers should also be taken up in mission mode. Mr. Modi stressed on the need to ensure adequate health infrastructure at the district level. The Prime Minister directed that intensive containment and active surveillance should continue in clusters reporting higher cases and required technical support be provided to states which are reporting higher cases presently. He highlighted the need to ensure effective usage of masks and physical distancing measures as the new normal to control the spread. In the meeting, a detailed presentation highlighting the surge in cases currently been reported globally was given by the Health Secretary. It was followed by the status of COVID-19 in India, highlighting various states and districts of concern based on the surge in cases and high positivity being reported.
Administration of precaution dose of COVID-19 vaccine for healthcare and frontline workers and those over 60 years of age with comorbidities will begin from today. Earlier addressing the nation, Prime Minister Narendra Modi made the announcement regarding the administration of the booster doses of COVID-19 vaccine.
प्रिकॉशन की दृष्टि से सरकार ने निर्णय लिया है कि हेल्थ केयर और फ्रंटलाइन वर्कर्स को वैक्सीन की प्रिकॉशन डोज भी प्रारंभ की जाए। इसकी शुरुआत 10 जनवरी सोमवार के दिन से की जाएगी। साथियों, कोरोना वैक्सीन का अब तक का ये भी अनुभव है कि जो अधिक आयु वाले हैं और पहले से ही किसी न किसी गंभीर बीमारी से पीड़ित है, उन्हें प्रिकॉशन लेना सलाह योग्य है। इसको ध्यान में रखते हुए 60 वर्ष से ऊपर की आयु के कोमॉर्बिडिटी वाले नागरिकों को उनके डॉक्टर की सलाह पर वैक्सीन की प्रिकॉशन डोज का विकल्प उनके लिए उपलब्ध होगा। ये भी 10 जनवरी से प्रारंभ होगा।
The centre has issued guidelines stating that no new registration will be required to get a precaution dose. The online appointment for the precaution dose shots began on last Saturday, where one can book their slots. The CoWIN system will send SMS to such beneficiaries for availing the precaution dose when the dose becomes due. We have more from our correspondent.
The eligible population who have taken 2 doses of COVID vaccines can directly take an appointment or walk into any vaccination center. The prioritization and sequencing of this precaution dose will be based on the completion of 9 months or 39 weeks from the date of administration of second dose. The precautionary vaccine dose will be the same vaccine as administered previously in the first 2 doses. All persons aged 60 years and above with comorbidities who have received 2 doses of COVID vaccine will be provided precautionary dose on doctor's advice from today. All election officials and employees deployed for election duty will be treated as frontline workers and will also be administered precaution dose. With Dipendra Kumar, Suparna Saikia, IIR News, Delhi.
Minister of State and PMO Dr. Jitendra Singh has said that pregnant women employees and Divyang employees have been exempted from attending office due to rising COVID cases. Briefing about the guidelines issued by the Department of Personnel and Training in the wake of the third wave of the pandemic, Dr. Singh said pregnant women and Divyang employees will be required to remain available and work from home. He added that all officials and staff living in the containment zones shall also be exempted from coming to office till the time the containment zone is denotified. The minister said that the physical attendance of government servants below the level of Under-Secretary has been restricted to 50% of the actual strength and the remaining 50% will work from home. Over 151 crore 58 lakh COVID vaccine doses have been administered so far under the nationwide vaccination drive in the country. Meanwhile, a total of 1,59,632 new cases were reported in the last 24 hours. The recovery rate is currently at 96.98%. A total of 3,623 cases of Omicron have been reported in the country so far.
Delhi has reported 22,751 new COVID-19 cases and 17 deaths yesterday, taking the total tally of deaths to 53 this month so far. According to the Health Department, the positivity rate soared to 23.53%. The fresh cases reported yesterday are the highest since May 1st last year, when 25,219 people were diagnosed with the disease. On June 13 last year, 23 deaths were reported in Delhi due to the disease. The positivity rate is 23.53%, was the highest after May 7th last year, when it was 24.9%. Delhi currently has 60,733 active cases, of which 35,714 are in home isolation. In view of the rising COVID-19 cases across the state, the Himachal Pradesh government imposed further restrictions to curb the spread of the infection. In a fresh order released yesterday, the state government imposed a total ban on langars, community kitchens and dhams in the state, along with religious places and places of worship. Talking to All India Radio, Himachal Pradesh Chief Minister Jairam Thakur said the decision was taken in view of COVID cases in the state and this order will remain in effect till the 24th of this month.
एक तो हमने सरकारी कार्यालय में जो परिस्थिति है उसको 50% पर लाया है और के बाद 5 day वीक किया है और इसके अतिरिक्त कुछ मंदिरों में लंगर पर रिस्ट्रिक्शन लगा दी है, लंगर नहीं होंगे और इसके अतिरिक्त स्कूल जो हमारे आज से खुलने थे उन स्कूलों को अब 26 तक बंद रहेंगे। तो प्रमुख रूप से यही निर्णय हमने अभी फिलहाल लिए हैं। कॉलेज अभी तक बंद रहेंगे और इसलिए अभी तक फरवरी के महीने तक उनकी छुट्टियां हैं।
Tamil Nadu government registered 12,895 new COVID-19 cases today. 1,808 patients were discharged after recovery. A total of 12 deaths were reported in the last 24 hours. The state has 50,335 active cases. The Department of Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade, DPIIT, is organizing the first ever Startup India Innovation Week from today till the 16th of this month. This virtual week-long innovation celebration aims to commemorate the 75th year of India's independence, Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, and is designed to showcase the spread and depth of entrepreneurship across India. Interestingly, in the startup world, 2022 has been recognized as the year of unicorns, with 40-plus unicorns added in the year. India is emerging as a global innovation hub, boasting the world's third-largest ecosystem of startups. DPIIT has recognized more than 61,000 startups as on the date. The startups, representing 55 industries spread across 633 districts with at least one startup from every state and union territory of the country, have created over 6 lakh jobs since 2016. 45% of the startups are from Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities, and 45% of them are represented by women entrepreneurs. You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi chairs meeting to review COVID-19 situation in the country. Suggests to ensure administration of COVID vaccine, precaution dose for healthcare workers, frontline workers be taken up in mission mode. COVID-19 precaution dose vaccination for healthcare and frontline workers and senior citizens with comorbidities begins today. Centre exempts pregnant women and Divyang employees from attending offices due to rising COVID cases. Himachal Pradesh imposes further restrictions to contain COVID-19 infection in the state. First ever Startup India Innovation Week to be held from today. 2 terrorists killed in an encounter in Kulgam district in Jammu and Kashmir. Russian President Vladimir Putin to take part in an emergency meeting of the Council of Collective Security Treaty Organization to discuss Kazakhstan. And in tennis, 20-time Grand Slam champion Rafael Nadal defeats American Maxim Cressy to win men's singles final of Melbourne's Somerset ATP 250 event. For quick news updates around the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
अपने बिजनेस को बढ़ाने के लिए लीजिए आकाशवाणी का सहयोग और दीजिए उसे बुलंदियों के पंख।
आपका बिजनेस लोकल है या राष्ट्रीय, आकाशवाणी देती है उपभोक्ताओं तक पहुंचने का हर विकल्प।
और अब तो आप घर, दफ्तर या दुकान पर बैठे बैठे कर सकते हैं आकाशवाणी के किसी भी केंद्र के लिए विज्ञापनों की बुकिंग। आकाशवाणी के विभिन्न चैनलों पर विज्ञापन देना सुलभ और सस्ता। बुकिंग है तो संपर्क करें 8700014242 पर 8700014242।
Welcome back. You're listening to the morning news. 2 terrorists were killed in an overnight encounter with security forces in Hasanpora area of Kulgam district in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. A police spokesperson said that the identity of the slain terrorist is yet to be ascertained. The spokesperson added that incriminating material, including arms and ammunition, were recovered from the encounter site. Health Minister Dr. Mansukh Mandaviya has said that the counselling for medical admissions under the National Eligibility cum Entrance Test postgraduate NEET PG will begin from Wednesday. In a tweet, Mr. Mandaviya said, following the order of the Supreme Court and the assurance given by the Health Ministry to the resident doctors, Medical Counselling Committee will start the counselling from 12th of January. He said this will give more strength to the country in the fight against corona.
The News Services Division brings you glimpses of the year 2021 in its special year-end series, The Year That Was. Today, we take a look at One Nation, One Ration Card. The One Nation, One Ration Card is an ambitious plan and endeavour of the government. This ensures seamless delivery of subsidized food security entitlements to all beneficiaries covered under the National Food Security Act, irrespective of their physical location anywhere in the country. Prime Minister Narendra Modi had said that One Nation, One Ration Card is of immense benefit to the poor who travels to other states in search of work.
अब पूरे भारत के लिए हमने एक सपना देखा है. कई राज्यों ने तो बहुत अच्छा काम भी किया है. बाकी राज्यों पर भी हम आग्रह कर रहे हैं कि इसको काम को आगे बढ़ाएं. और काम क्या है? अब पूरे भारत के लिए एक राशन कार्ड की व्यवस्था भी हो रही है. यानी एक राष्ट्र, एक राशन कार्ड, वन नेशन, वन राशन कार्ड. इसका सबसे बड़ा लाभ उन गरीब साथियों को मिलेगा जो रोजगार या दूसरी आवश्यकताओं के लिए अपना गांव छोड़ करके कहीं और जाते हैं, किसी और राज्य में जाते हैं. आज गरीब को, जरूरतमंद को सरकार अगर मुफ्त अनाज दे पा रही है तो इसका श्रेय प्रमुख रूप से दो वर्गों को जाता है. पहला, हमारे देश के मेहनती किसान, हमारे अन्नदाता, और दूसरा, हमारे देश के ईमानदार टैक्स पेयर.
We have a report from our correspondent.
The One Nation, One Ration Card system is now successfully operational in 34 states and union territories in the country. It is an important citizen-centric reform and its implementation ensures availability of ration to beneficiaries under National Food Security Act and other welfare schemes at any fair shop across the country. The reform especially empowers the migratory population, mostly laborers, daily wages, urban poor like rag pickers, street dwellers, temporary workers in organized and unorganized sectors, domestic workers and others who frequently change their place of dwelling to be self-reliant in food security. This technology-driven reform enables the migrant beneficiaries to get their entitled quota of food grains from any electronic point of sale EPOS-enabled fair price shops of their choice anywhere in the country. It also enables the state in better targeting of beneficiaries, elimination of bogus or duplicate or ineligible card holders, resulting in enhanced welfare and reduced leakage. One Nation, One Ration Card scheme currently covers over 75 crore beneficiaries, which is over 94% of National Food Security Act population through 23 crore ration cards. Anupam Mish, AR News, Delhi.
And now, let's listen to our special program, Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव.
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a Nation. India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of this struggle every day.
On the 10th of January 1616, England's first official ambassador to India, Thomas Roe, came to the court of Mughal Emperor Jahangir at Ajmer. Although his 4-year-long negotiations with Jahangir didn't prove successful, the visit marked the beginning of British economic and political interest in the Indian subcontinent.
Roe arrived at the port of Surat in September 1615 with a letter from King James I to the then reigning Mughal Emperor Jahangir seeking a trade agreement. Determined that his arrival to the Mughal Empire should be an occasion of dignity and splendor, Roe did not leave the ship for a full week, mainly due to arguments over customs searches. He finally made the journey to Ajmer, where he was presented to the Emperor Jahangir on the 10th of January 1616. Roe was vexed to discover that the Mughals regarded relations with the English as a very low priority. On arrival, he was showed into a substandard accommodation.
Roe lived in the Mughal Empire until the 17th of February 1619, during which time he laboured to improve England's reputation among Mughal officials and tried desperately to obtain a royal farman for permanent trade. He eventually returned to England in 1619 without the trade agreement.
सपना सर की थारी पोसताओ एलिया सपना सर की थारी पोसताओ एलिया जावे गो जमारो रे.
We also remember freedom fighter Narhari Vishnu Gadgil, who was born on the 10th of January 1896 in Malhargarh, Madhya Pradesh. Popularly known as Kaka Saheb Gadgil, he was an erudite lawyer and an outstanding literary figure. Gadgil was influenced by great freedom fighters including Lokmanya Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Mahatma Gandhi and Vallabhbhai Patel.
Spiritual leaders Swami Ramakrishna Paramhans and Swami Vivekananda also made a deep impression on him. For his active participation in the national freedom movement, he was imprisoned 8 times by the British.
उठ जाग मुसाफिर भोर भई उठ जाग मुसाफिर भोर भई अब रैन कहाँ जो सोबत है.
Gadgil joined the Indian National Congress immediately after obtaining his law degree. He served as the secretary of Pune District Congress Committee in 1920. Later, he became the president of Maharashtra Pradesh Congress Committee. He was elected to the Central Legislative Assembly in 1934. Gadgil was a pioneer in social reform movements in Maharashtra in the 1930s.
After independence, Gadgil served as a minister in the first Central Cabinet of India between 1947 and 1952. He held the portfolios of public works and mines and power. He is credited with initiating the project of building a military caliber road between Pathankot to Srinagar via Jammu and Kashmir as a part of strengthening India's hold over the region during and after the 1947 Indo-Pakistan War. He also initiated important development projects including Bhakra, Koyna and Hirakud dams. Gadgil also served as the governor of Punjab.
Gadgil was a prolific writer and wrote several books and articles on politics, economics, law, history, oratory, etc. His important works include Pathik and Raja Shastra Vichar. For his great contribution to Marathi literature, he was elected president of the Marathi Sahitya Sammelan in 1962. He remained committed to the welfare of the public till his death on the 12th of January 1966.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
Best wishes to all consumers for Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Hallmark ensures purity of gold. Always purchase Hallmark gold jewelry. For any consumer-related complaints, please contact National Consumer Helpline's toll-free number 14404. Issued in public interest by Department of Consumer Affairs, Government of India. Jago Grahak Jago. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate the 25th National Youth Festival on Wednesday, the 12th of January, which is Swami Vivekananda's birth anniversary. In a tweet, Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Singh Thakur has urged people to register to join this grand event. He said youth across the country can share suggestions and innovative ideas for the Prime Minister's speech on the occasion.
External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar yesterday spoke to French Foreign Minister Jean-Yves Le Drian. Both ministers recognized that the achievements of India-France cooperation in 2021 are a strong foundation for 2022. In a tweet, Dr. Jaishankar said the presidency of European Union that France occupies adds an important dimension to India-France strategic relationship. Russian President Vladimir Putin will take part in an emergency meeting of the Council of the Collective Security Treaty Organization today to discuss Kazakhstan, his office said. The video summit of Armenia, Belarus, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Russia, Tajikistan and Uzbekistan will focus on the situation in Kazakhstan in the wake of violent protests and ways to normalize it.
14-year-old Bharath Subramanyam has become the 73rd Grand Master of India, the All India Chess Federation confirmed today. The Chennai-based teenager completed his final GM norm and crossed the requisite 2500 rating at Vagani Cup Open in Italy. In tennis, 20-time Grand Slam champion Rafael Nadal defeated American Maxim Cressy 7-6, 6-3 in the men's singles final of the Melbourne Somerset ATP 250 event yesterday. The world number 6 Nadal showed no signs of rustiness as he did not lose a set en route to the title in Melbourne.
Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for today. Srinagar will have generally cloudy sky with light rain. Jammu will have partly cloudy sky, becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. Leh is likely to have light snow. Gilgit will have generally cloudy sky. Muzaffarabad will have mainly clear sky. The national capital Delhi will have moderate fog. The minimum temperature was 9 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 17 degrees. And in Mumbai, the minimum temperature was 19 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 31 degrees.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. COVID surge continues to dominate headlines this morning. 17 in COVID deaths, 22,751 new cases in capital, reports the Pioneer. The paper quotes the Delhi CM Arvind Kejriwal as saying, no plan to impose lockdown in Delhi yet. Greater ease of living likely to be centerpiece of next budget, speculates Hindustan Times. Deposits in Jan Dhan accounts cross 1.5 lakh crore rupees, notes Financial Express. PM's security breach, Supreme Court to hear plea today, informs The Hindu. In outreach to Sikhs, PM says December 26 will be Veer Bal Divas, informs The Times of India. And finally, scientists who taught us to be modest except in our aim. Well, the Tribune reports the world of science on Sunday celebrated the 100th birth anniversary of Nobel laureate Hargobind Khorana and recalled his timeless advice to peers and students alike. We must be modest except in our aims.
And before we end the bulletin, a reminder of today's question of the Amrit Mahotsav quiz. Mahatma Gandhi, in his first major public appearance in India, said, "Our salvation can only come through the farmer. Neither the lawyers nor the doctors nor the rich landlords are going to secure it." When and where did Gandhi deliver this speech? WhatsApp your response on 8826546262 or through email on amritmahotsav@prasarbharati.gov.in. Celebrate 75 years of India's independence by participating in Amrit Mahotsav quiz with AIR News. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi chairs meeting to review COVID-19 situation in the country, suggests to ensure administration of COVID vaccine precaution dose for healthcare workers, frontline workers be taken up in mission mode. COVID-19 precaution dose vaccination for healthcare and frontline workers and senior citizens with comorbidities begins today. Centre exempts pregnant women and Divyang employees from attending offices due to rising COVID cases. Himachal Pradesh imposes further restrictions to contain COVID-19 infection in the state. First ever Startup India Innovation Week to be held from today. 2 terrorists killed in an encounter in Kulgam district in Jammu and Kashmir. Russian President Vladimir Putin to take part in an emergency meeting of Council of Collective Security Treaty Organization to discuss Kazakhstan. And in tennis, 20-time Grand Slam champion Rafael Nadal defeats American Maxim Cressy to win men's singles final of Melbourne Somerset ATP 250 event. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.